Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder, and welcome to Naval Force's Enduring Confrontation mode. And this is now the weekend that Gaijin has dropped this event, to my eternal surprise. And you know, it's the weekend of patch release, so I thought that they would do it next week or in the following weeks. Well, before we talk about what I think about all this thing, just watch this scene because it's so important. I see the aircraft coming. It's a Japanese torpedo bomber, and he flies evasive actions. I don't have proximity fuse shells, so I cannot just saturate the area, and I go bow in. So I drift still to the right, and so he will drop bow in, but I will still slide to the right, and a little bit of rudder jamming here and there, and you just saw the finest torpedo beats ever. Admit it, that was nice, really. So the one thing that I have to really point out here, it is pretty difficult to put the experience of hours of playing a single battle into 10-15 minutes of videos. That's always a bit difficult. Not so much with the editing, you know, just show the scenes with the most kills and everybody's happy. But it's a bit more about which scene should I really show to highlight something good or bad. And I decided to show this scene here. If you look at the minimap, you can see that there is the northern island that is completely controlled by the blue team, so my team, and then the southern island that is controlled by the red team. And I am near a spawn point of the enemy, and I try to just knock out the turrets and the torpedo tubes of the destroyers as they spawn, and then whittle them down, and I still try to do this with this destroyer and so on. But eventually I take a shell damage here, I have to dodge a torpedo there, and I am on fire, I have to repair, I have to fight the flooding, etc. Eventually I get whittled down by the constantly respawning enemies, right? So that is a problem because I need to go through the spawn in order to get to the objective, which in this case is B. But that's not enough. Even if I am within the objective, before I can effectively capture it, I need to destroy some pillboxes, some anti-aircraft batteries, and also sink the ships that protect the rest of the harbor. And you can see, without the support of my team, eventually I was whittled down, and that is a little bit of a shame. So the next thing is I tried once more here with this scene here. I first have to fight off a patrol boat, and that is, by the way, another battle. If you haven't noticed, so the teams didn't just completely switch sides. And then I catch an Admiral Hipper off guard, and I'm very happy that his guns are not pointed at my direction. And the battle also, the HMS battle that is, that I was playing in the previous scene, and I'm also playing now, got a little bit of a buff that it got an extra gun, basically. And while I cannot hope to ammo rack an Admiral Hipper realistically, well, it's always possible with freak shots and how War Thunder mechanics work, I try to disable the main battery turrets by shooting at them from the side to help my team and reduce the incoming fire at the cruisers of my team. This is a little bit of teamwork. I try to make it here myself a bit comfortable, and to just destroy the ships as they come by, because I want to get essentially later on in a cruiser myself, and that needs acquiring spawn points. Yes, that dreadful spawn point system is still in place. Now, at first, it is nice if destroyers fight destroyers. Obviously, everybody goes for the best destroyers. But eventually, a lot of people go into cruisers or leave the match. And that is due to that the rewards are pretty pitiful, even if you win such a match. Even if you get 20-30 player kills, you know, flavored with some bot kills here and there, and all the stuff, the income is pitiful. So it is good for grinding. The single result looks impressive with 100,000 silver lines and 20-30,000 RP, but that for a very, very long time, right? For up to 3 hours. Whereas in the same time you can play nearly half a dozen of normal realistic battles, you know, with having a break actually. That has to do with the modifiers. But back to the actual topic. The thing is that we have three different sub-scenarios, and they are as following. First of all, we have the naval convoys, and then we have the port attack, and then we have the naval bombers. So the port attack is that you just simply try to, as I said in the beginning, go to the objective and capture it. The naval convoys are also there, and they get attacked by naval bombers. So depending on which side you are, you have to protect and or attack. The idea behind all this is good, and as I said in the very first video and the second video, it has quite a lot of potential, but as every new game mode or everything that Gaijin tests, it needs polishing, it needs feedback. So if you enjoyed this, please make that hearable for Gaijin. Tell them I thoroughly enjoyed them, so that you enjoyed them, if you did enjoy them, and what you would suggest for getting changed. This is just me making my feedback here, and I hope that I do it in such a way that lessons can be learned and suggestions can be made. Now, one major problem is how it ended. At some point, one team had a significant advantage over the other, because at some point players leave after their first few deaths when they had unlucky RNG, and when then they at some point have a cruiser against them and they still have just destroyers available. So again, that's the spawn point system. Now eventually everybody goes into Brooklands. Brooklands here, Brooklands there, Brooklands everywhere, and yeah, flavored with some Chapayevs, etc. I get it, it's a very nice ship. Surprisingly enough, it was not the premium version. I also didn't see any sort of Pensacola, maybe once or twice, but really not that often. So it was all about the Brooklyn, and here, who can blame those players? High DPM, high rate of fire, good speed, good anti-aircraft batteries, and some of the best armor in game. Yeah, that's just a plus point of the plus point. So it was a pretty dull in that aspect, and yeah, that's a little bit of a shame. So again, maybe restrict certain battle ratings. Like, I think without the 5.7s, this would have been significantly more enjoyable. Okay, I think that would have made a good difference. So this is maybe limit it to 5.0 and 5.3 the next time. It would be worth a try. By the way, the compression Naval Forces is absolutely horrendous. This patch made it again worse, and selling top tier premiums is god awful. That's a horrendous idea, and I already can feel it in the games that I play. Yeah, fighting a Brooklyn over and over again, and then also the premium version, the Helena, doesn't make the situation better, even if you drive or command those ships themselves. Because the damage mechanics within War Thunder are counterproductive. But I digress. Then, let's go to the planes. As you can see, planes are also getting played. Now, why I mention planes here is because of those naval bomber scenario. And when you spawn within the merchant ship convoy, trying to protect those ships, the enemy bombers are too high to be shot at by Japanese and also German destroyers. Their 37mm, 25mm, whatever, won't just open up because the planes are flying too high. The most success, I think, will be with the American ships that have dual purpose heavy batteries and also proximity fuses, so they are significantly more effective in that scenario. So let those bombers attack at a slightly lower altitude, where if you are within the convoy of merchant ships, that you can at least attempt to make a difference. Yeah, as I said, then everything comes down to cruisers, and it's the same with cruisers. If you try to push through the enemy fleet, it's okay if you farm destroyers, but when you fight other cruisers with the maneuvering, with your funnels getting knocked out, machinery getting hit, etc., you just simply get whittled down as well in the fight versus other cruisers, and you also cannot reach the objective, the harbor, if you will. And as I said before, you have then to fight through the merchant ship, through the harbor protection fleet, through the pillboxes and the anti-aircraft placements, and then you have to find all of them. In one scenario, I tried to go for E, and I just couldn't find the last round targets, and then somebody spawned near me, blew me up, and that was all that she wrote. So this has to be refined as well, in my opinion. One really nice thing that I really have to point out, I'm a fan of long-range engagements, and in random battles you very often don't have the time to really enjoy this long-range, long-time artillery duel. By the way, watch this dodge. Plane is coming in, gets in, I hear the bomb, and I turn out, and the bomb only sets me on fire. That probably would have been an ammo rack or a magazine hit if I would not have maneuvered. So always watch out where the plane is coming from and what you can do with just slight maneuvering. Back to the battle. Long range gunfire exchanges. I actually run out of ammunition in the Admiral Hipper, can you believe it, in one match. And I think that I inflicted enough pain on the enemy team to make the ship worth it in that case. So that was satisfying. Again, it is sadly not reflected in the post-game statistics, in the overall reward in terms of civil lines and RP. A normal session of multiple random battles would be significantly more effective. But again, it is up this weekend. I suggest that you try it out, and it is always a nice experience. Before we come to the end of the video, a little bit of an announcement here. I try to also cover some other ships, such as the premium cruisers, the USS Helena, and also the HMS Belfast, as well as then also the HMS Hawkins, which is actually interesting to play, believe it or not. And also some other stuff gets featured in the next few days. I hope that you also leave a little bit of feedback, what you think should be made better in this Enduring Confrontation, what you actually had fun with, what you think was a good addition to it, if you like Enduring Confrontation overall, or if it should be just an event for every few weeks, maybe the first weekend in a month. Let me know in the comment section, and as usual, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we will see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.